Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Thomas Ray and Neil Young.
Yep, thank you everybody. Thank you for attending the conference this year.
Neil and I are overwhelmed with the applause and are more than happy to be here in Toronto discussing this great study with you.
So what our study today is about SOAT. And Thomas would like to explain what exactly SOAT is.
So what is SOAT, or SOAT as Neil likes to reference it as? SOAT stands for Standardized Orthopedic Test. A athletic therapist with a PhD in Alberta has recently done a study on what athletic therapists commonly use as their orthopedic assessment. This is not an actual tool like I thought it was when I first came across it. This is more of a guideline base that athletic therapists in particular use as they're going to do each standardized or when somebody comes to them with a problem. Anything you'd like to add on to what a SOAT is?
Well, I think it's, like you said, it's a standardized tool that, that currently is used in the athletic therapy world. And I think that for us as massage therapists, it's certainly something that we could add to our bag of tools that we can move on with and use in the future.
Of course. So, moving on with our presentation. So, just analyzing the study that we read on SOAT, I would like to first touch on my opinion of the advantages that SOAT can bring to us. My idea of the advantages are, it is just that. It is a standard orthopedic assessment tool, so it brings guidelines without having necessary exact checklist of guidelines to you. It will bring everybody together and point us in one direction on where we can all go towards our testing as somebody comes in to see us with a specific injury. Advantages in your opinion?
Advantages are that it allows you to think outside the box. It allows you to use all of the skills that we have, and it's not a recipe. It's, I can do this, I can do this, I can move from this test to this test, I can do this assessment. I don't have to be stuck doing a standard protocol consistently on a regular basis of what is, how do you say it?
Of course, it brings everything of not being a recipe, but sends you in the right direction.
Sends you in the right direction. It allows you to use your brain.
Yes.
Right?
The brain is good.
We went to school.
Yeah, we went to school.
We got to use our brain sometime.
We got to use the brain.
And this allows you to use your brain, allows you to think outside the box, allows you to use your own reasoning power.
Yep.
Right? It doesn't say, this is what you have to do, and this is why you're doing it.
Of course.
Well, I know why I'm doing it. I want to be able to think about what different ways I can apply it.
Yep.
Right? Not just do this test and figure it out, right? You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Of course, but with any kind of test that we will research, with the advantages come the disadvantages. Now, like we're saying, yes, this is not a recipe sort of say, but it still does give you guideline, and it will kind of point you in a general direction. With the advantages of that being said, I would like to also say that this is the disadvantage of this test. The disadvantages for me are not every single time you see a certain test for the knee, I'll give anterior drawer, for example, or I'll give Apley's test, for example. Just because somebody feels pain when you do the test doesn't necessarily mean that it's a meniscal tear, and sometimes if you just go in the direction that this is setting up, it can kind of lead you in the wrong path as well. Any disadvantages you'd like to touch upon?
Well, the one disadvantage that I agree with you there, that there could be doing special tests in particular, there's a lot of false negatives.
Lots of false negatives.
Right, particularly if someone is...
But this tells you to go ahead and do those special tests, right?
Especially if it's an acute injury, right? You always get those false positives. One disadvantage too might be length of time required for this as well, in our particular trade, right? Because you know...
Speaking of length of time, where are we at here?
You know, a lot of people like to they're always in a hurry.
Yep.
They always want to be on the
Of course.
table, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys all know
Oh yeah,
that, right?
yeah, of course. Everybody they're taking off their clothes while they're asking questions.
Right. So this test, it requires about a half an hour worth of time, though, right? But you know, you can. So some people might see that as a hindrance. Of course, we see it as a benefit.
Yeah, of course.
Some people will see it as a benefit because then you can actually get I think, a better hypothesis, as we can't diagnose.
Yeah, of course. Do not diagnose.
But that would be one of the main disadvantages for me. And like you said, I can reiterate that it still is a quasi-recipe. It does still make you follow a specific set of procedures.
So what I would like to say about so far with the disadvantages, advantages, is you can take it either way, right? It sends you on a nice line. It does send you on a nice line.
Yeah, for sure.
But life is not a line.
No.
You gotta make rights and left-hand turns every once
There's
in a while.
hills and valleys all
There
over
are
the
hills
place,
and valleys. We all would like to follow the straight path, but unfortunately the path is never straight. And so it likes to make the path nice and straight, which is the advantage of it as well, because sometimes when we're doing orthopedic testing, you can start thinking over here when you should be thinking over the left field, right?
Yep.
It can keep you straight.
Yep, for sure.
Yep.
I definitely agree with you there.
So, to wrap up our opinions on the advantages and disadvantages is, you could take it or leave it for this, but we would like to definitely segue our advantages and disadvantages to what can soap do for massage. Would you like to lead off, or you want me to lead off?
I can take this one here
Go
for
for
a couple seconds here. What will soap do for us? Well, I think the main thing is that soap will put us more on the mainstream.
Of course.
With athletic therapists.
Of course.
With physiotherapists. With chiropractors.
Of course. You know what really grinds my gears when I was reading this study was seeing, in this study exactly, saying how it's going to benefit physiotherapists, sports doctors, orthopedic surgeons, athletic therapists. Nowhere does it mention massage therapists. So this is a proven study. Like, it is a proven resource. It is very valid. So what can that do for us?
Yeah, and it's not, everybody knows too that we're generally the first, a lot of times we're the first people that people will come to see.
Of course.
We build that trust with clients.
Yep.
And this will help us build even a better trust. If someone can come to me, someone they trust, they may not trust that doctor. They may not trust that.
I don't trust my doctor.
They may not trust that athletic therapist, but they could come to us because we've built that rapport with them already.
Yes.
It sets us up on a path of possibly leading down towards more becoming a
evidence-based practice.
Evidence-based practice,
Evidence-based
right?
practice, exactly. That's exactly what this is, ladies and gentlemen. This is evidence-based. So does pride and proven. Okay. This is in my opinion. Sometimes I don't really want to be told that I have to do something step by step, because well, let's face it, I got a big head and I don't want to be told something, right? I think Neil knows that more than anybody else, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if this will push our industry towards more validity, this is exactly the stuff that we need.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that
what's our time here?
It just puts us in the mainstream with everybody else, and allows us to put the skills that we've learned.
Put the skills that we've learned
into practice.
Thank
right?
you.
We all did a nice bunch of classes.
Yep.
We did.
The classes
we
that
did
we've
an
done,
assessment.
we've done our exercise,
We all did our assessment.
exercise classes, we've done our orthopedic testing,
Yeah.
we know active passive range of motion.
We know all this stuff, right? There's no reason that we can't, as massage therapists, use something like this in a practice.
Of course.
And to make us more mainstream.
Of course. So
appreciate massage therapy for what it is.
Yes.
And the skills that we have.
Yes. And and like I said, this study is done by a study of a doctor of sports medicine.
Yeah.
Athletic therapist.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's proven this to be. You know what? The actual so this study was just to see if SOAT works. What SOAT is subjective history, interview phase, ranges of motion rule-outs, neurological testing, special testing, palpation. But who has better palpation than us?
Nobody. Nobody.
So why aren't we following SOAT?
That's a great question.
With that, ladies and gentlemen of Toronto, unfortunately we're out of time. We would like to stay here all day, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
We can only be here for so long.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody.
Yeah.
I hope to do this again next year.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.